Okay, so 10th standard students, very good morning and warm welcome to all of you. So now we are going through the geography part and we are in the chapter mineral resources and power resources. Okay, chapter number 8, part 2. Geography chapter 8, mineral and power resources. So as of now what we have done? We have done the mineral resources, we have done with the first topic we have done, that is the mineral resources. In mineral resources we have done the meaning and importance, and then we just discuss about some mineral ores or some minerals which are found in India and which are very leading producer and which are very significant. They are iron ore, manganese ore, bauxite and mica. Okay, so these four we have already discussed. Okay, then we have started with these mineral resources. Okay, mineral, not mineral resources, power resources. So in power resources what we have done, there also we have done the meaning and importance. What is the meaning and importance of power resources? What is power? Okay, what it is exactly? It is a generation of electricity. And what are the products or what are the minerals which are used for this power generation? Okay, coal. Coal is a very important mineral used for generation of electricity. It is a fossil fuel. It is found inside the earth. Then we have done the petroleum also. In the last class we have done the petroleum. Okay. Now we will go for hydroelectricity. This one. Okay. Hydro means water. Okay. In your science you can get what is this hydro. Hydro is nothing but your water. So hydroelectricity, so the electricity which is being generated from water, that is known as hydroelectricity. It is a non-conventional power resource. Okay, because this is cheap also, this is safer also, and we are having abundance of water in all the states. Okay, so from that water only what happened in your this one coal, petroleum, okay, they are not abundance. Abundance means we can't do the reuse of coal. Once we are generating the electricity from coal or petroleum, the thing is that the coal or this one petroleum we can't use again, it will burnt off. Okay, but water we can use for generating of electricity. The same water again we can use for generation of electricity or production of electricity. So first we will go through the meaning of what is this hydroelectricity. Electricity generated from the force of falling water is called hydroelectricity. So what is hydroelectricity? Electricity which is being generated from the force of falling water. See, if you clash two stones, you can see the spark. Okay, means electricity is generated. It's like that only with the spark of the water. Okay, when the water, the force of the falling of the water, the electricity which is generated, that is known as hydroelectricity. It is renewable. I told you that several times we can use same water to produce that electricity. We can generate the electricity, but the water what it was, it is in the same position there. Okay, so it is not getting burnt and all like that. Okay, water is there, we are using that one for generating the electricity for not only for one time, we can generate it for several times. It is renewable, cheaper than coal and petroleum. They are, what happened, they are the natural resources. But they are, water is also a natural resources, but they are, what happened, one day it can be over, but we are using, suppose we are having 1 liter of water, we are using it for generating thousands and thousands volts of electricity with that water only. But once we use the coal for 1000, okay, that water we can use for another 1000 volt of electricity, but coal, once it generates 1000 volt, that coal is over. Okay, again we have to put new coal. It is renewable, cheaper and higher calorific value than coal and oil. Okay, it is having calorific value, means it has the more potential. Okay, with the use of, suppose we are using this much of water, what the generation of electricity is getting done, same thing if we are using for the coal, the generation will be less calorific value. It keeps the machine clean and can be transmitted easily. It keeps the machine, means see, for generation of electricity we have to use several modern techniques with the help of the machineries. So using that coal and petroleum, see the dust, carbon will be there, but in water there is no dust, no carbon, so the machines are clean and it can be transmitted, means the flow of electricity, once we generate the electricity we have to supply it to the, means the people who are using there, maybe it is for industrial use or maybe it is for domestic use. Okay, transmission means the place from where it is getting generated to travel, it will travel from that place to the consumer place, so that transmission is very easy. India does not have adequate fossil fuels. Fossil fuels means those fuels which are inside the earth, means coal, petroleum, natural gas, all these are, okay, they are not abundance, but water we are having in abundance. Okay, so India does not have adequate fossil fuels such as oil, coal and natural gas. Hence there is a need to develop hydel power. So to overcome that one day may coal will be over. Okay, so that time we will not use electricity, so that hydel power, using the same water for generation of electricity for several volts, we can use it. So that is we can say that using coal, okay, one day it can be over, but using water for several times means we can't be here without the electricity for a period in our future. So there is a need for the development of hydel power or hydroelectricity. The first hydroelectricity power plant in India was established at Darjeeling in West Bengal in 1897. In the year 1897, there is a place in West Bengal, Darjeeling, that is also famous for tea plantation. Okay, that is famous for tea plantation in India. The tea from Darjeeling and Assam, they are being exported to other countries. So Darjeeling plays a vital role in the generation of foreign currencies through the export. Okay, so the first hydroelectricity power plant, okay, it was established in Darjeeling, which is in West Bengal, in the year 1897, but that time it was too old age, so that time there was no that type of modern machineries and all, but they was generating hydel power. But the real generation of hydel power was started at Sivasamundaram on Kaveri River in 1902. In 1902, what happened? One more, this hydel power station, means hydroelectricity generation power plant, came into existence on the Kaveri River in the place Sivasamundaram, that's in Karnataka. Okay, that was that time that industry, means no, that not industry, that plant came into existence with all the modern equipments, modern techniques, modern machineries. That's why they told, but the real generation means using the water in a proper way, we are getting adequate electricity. But it started in the year 1897. Okay, means 5 years before to that, near to, it's in Darjeeling of West Bengal. So now we will just go through one thing, that what are the important hydel power generation centers. Okay, in Karnataka it is Sivasamundaram, the first one in 1902. Simsa, Saravati, okay, Linganamakki, Alamatti, Varahi, Kali and Bhadra. These are the name of the hydel power station or hydel power stations who are generating this electricity. In Tamil Nadu, Mettur, Paikara, okay, Papanasum, Periyar, Mayor, Kuda, okay, Kunda, Suliyar, Kodayar and Solayar. These are again not the places, these are the name of the hydel power station. Maharashtra, Koyana, Kopala, Kopali, Bhola, Bhitpuri and Bhira, okay. Odisha, Hirakud dam is there, okay, and that multipurpose dam is the world's highest dam, okay. So Hirakud, Bhimkur, Balimela and Regali. Andhra Pradesh, Srisailam, okay, Ramapada Sagar and Sileru, Telangana. These are the means, see, one state I am telling and then the name. So those are situated in that state. Telangana, okay, Nizam Sagar, Nagarjuna Sagar, okay, Pochampad, okay, then Kerala, Idiki, Sabargiri, then Pallivasal and Parabikulam. Other than this, Udai Kadana in Gujarat, okay, Subarnarekha, Maithon, Panchayat in Jharkhand, Bhakra Nangal in Punjab, Kosi in Bihar, Gandhi Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so besides this, there are many other hydel power projects all over India which are also significant. There are several hydel power stations. First, we have done to the important one. Okay, and then others also state wise we have told, but there are several other hydel power stations in India. Okay, if you go to the Google, you can search thousands of names. It will come with the river name and the state name, but going through the notes, you have to at least 5 important hydel power stations they may ask. So for that only you have to tell like this. State wise, if you can memorize, it will be good. So in the next class we will be doing the nuclear power. Okay, so thanks for now. Have a nice day.